one of the topics I did want to get into, right? Mainly because, I don't know, the talks of the best player in the NBA right now has been very, very up and down to me and what I've seen. Now, a lot of people is going to say Jokic, but I don't know. Like, at least in my opinion, I don't really think it's like clear cut like Jokic. I think, and respect to LeBron and what he's done in his career, but those times of, okay, with him, MJ, even Kobe, because it went MJ, he had Shaq a bit, then Kobe carried it for a little while. Then LeBron came in, it was really them two. Then LeBron carried it over until 2020 as the best player. And now, ever since 2020, it's been really, 1 year it was KD or Giannis, and then it was Giannis, and then it turned to Jokic or maybe Luka. And, respect to LeBron James, because the days of us really seeing that one guy really dominating and being the best in the world, regardless of whatever's going on for a substantial period amount of time, yeah, we're not going to be seeing that anytime soon. The only hope we have to really see that generational player again is Victor Wembanyama. Victor and then Luka to an extent, but you got Jokic still in the league and even Giannis. So they're always going to be challenging each other. But Victor's maybe the only guy where if the offense keeps progressing the way it is, the defense is already amazing. So if the offense keeps progressing the way it is and, we really see what he's going to be doing in the postseason, man, Victor can be the next guy. But until then, ever since 2020, 2021, 4 years now, it's been very up and down. It's been very up and down on like who's really the best player, who's really been that guy dominating, who's really this, who's really that. So I want to talk about it in today where, the top three for me is Giannis, Luka, and Jokic. Like, to me, that's top three. I don't see anyone else being better. Honestly, those are the top three for me. And I really wanted to get into the specifics of each one and really what they bring, and then kind of gauge in between, okay, is this really the guy we're rolling with as the best one or no? And I'm going to first start off with Jokic, right? Because Jokic is really the main guy that everyone's been talking about as the best player in the world. And, Jokic is great. I think Jokic, one of the best offensive players we've ever seen. Hands down, one of the best. The weird thing about Jokic, though, is it's so weird because Luka gets criticized, Giannis gets criticized, LeBron still gets criticized, KD gets criticized, Steph gets criticized. All of these guys get criticized, but for some reason, Jokic, after he won his ring, the criticism for him and what really happens with him in the postseason really doesn't get talked about. The inabilities that he has as a player kind of gets brushed off to the side. And even though offensively, again, him and Luka, two of the best offensive players in the league right now, no one really pays attention, and they want to just sit here and ignore the things that he doesn't do well. I don't know why they do that, right? So Jokic, again, with the offense that he has, he does struggle with three-point shooting a bit, even though this year was his best year in the postseason. That definitely got highlighted. But he's still a great in the high post, great in the low post, able to see the floor and scan the floor. Amazing. Every time I watch him, I get reminded of Larry Bird a lot, because them and their ability to just play in the post and scan the floor and really just hit those tight windows. It's very amazing to see. And again, Jokic on the break, he's just tossing that ball crazy, man. He has some of the craziest accuracy that I've seen from a basketball player. So Jokic and what he brings offensively is amazing. He causes a lot of mismatches because of his size. But the main thing that really holds Jokic back a lot is, at least for me, now no one really talks about this, but at least for me, which is weird that they don't talk about it, Jokic does definitely show signs of regression when he's facing bigger size lineups. Like that's an inherent flaw that's been happening with Jokic now in back-to-back seasons now. He struggled a bit versus the Timberwolves with Cat guarding him. And then he struggled with the Oklahoma City Thunder when they had Hartenstein and Chet kind of switching between them, right? And those were some of his worst postseason performances in the last, since 2023. So in the last 4 years now. So that flaw right there that he has, and, the inability to really be a reliable three-point threat is really where I'm looking at Jokic, where, okay, if we're going to look at you as a player and call you the best in the world, an undisputed best in the world, flaws like that is kind of hard to overlook. To me, it's hard to overlook, especially considering the fact that I don't care what, he's not a positive defender. He's not. So you have some flaws offensively that happens when you face certain size lineups, inability to shoot the three ball consistently, and the defense you provide, it's not up to par. That's alarming to me. Now, when we got a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo, I'm looking at Giannis where, even though he has clear signs of flaws in his offensive game, and even matchups that he struggles with, Giannis as a defender, man, he clears. He's the best defender out of all three of these guys. And Giannis as a defender, ever since 2021, he has gotten better. And even offensively, he has gotten better. The passing is still questionable. Playmaking is still questionable, but it's still solid enough to where, okay, I get you don't provide the offensive value of a Jokic and offensive value of a Luka. But, man, I mean, your pure dominance is something to be talked about even more. Giannis himself has been averaging 30 points on 60% from the field. That's insane. And even last year, the mid-range, Giannis kind of up and down with his shooting, but the mid-range definitely pretty good standing last season. So that's something that he doesn't get too much credit of. To me, Giannis, ever since he won in 2021, there was a little regression, I believe, in 23. But Giannis right now, it seems he's just evolved and getting better as a player, both offensively and defensively. Now, he doesn't guard on ball. He's not that strong of an on-ball defender. But him as an eraser, him as a blocker, he's even gotten better as a one-on-one defender, in my opinion, from 2021. So when people were so quick to give Giannis the crown, so quick to give him the keys to the league in 2021, it's weird to me how we're seeing Giannis as a player getting better overall, but he's more disrespected now than he was before. That could be, I'm not gonna lie, like that could be a big part on me and my stances on Giannis, because I don't think I was I know I wasn't the best advocate for him, and I know I definitely crapped on him a lot. I definitely did. If I'm going to be honest about Giannis Antetokounmpo and who he is as a basketball player, I mean, having 30 on 60, one of the best rebounders in the league, probably the most dominant player in terms of like athleticism out of the three, and the defense he provides is light years better than anything that these other guys can provide. I just don't understand how there's not more conversations of Giannis Antetokounmpo being the best player in the league. It seems if you say Giannis is better than Jokic, people look at you sideways and look at you as if you're hating Jokic. I don't get that. I really don't. I don't understand how thinking Giannis is better than Jokic is disrespectful or even wrong, especially when you really dial in and look at these guys as players. There's a lot of things and reasonings that we can be like, okay, we could probably side with Giannis more than Jokic. The defense is a big part of that. The defense is a major part of that, actually. And even though Jokic got some offensively, at least Giannis has offensive capabilities that's definitely very beneficial to any team. And any team would love to have him. Due to his dominance alone, it's almost like Shaquille O'Neal, even though it's not as complete, having a guy on the floor like that, I mean, that size that's able to maneuver everyone out the way. And I'm not going to lie, he's able to play bully ball on everyone. It's like having a guy like that on your crew. It's very, very valuable, especially when the athleticism part of it goes a long way. So you have a guy that actually offers great capabilities offensively, along with light years better defense. When we're looking at Jokic, I'm like, I can understand why someone would say that he's better than Jokic. And I can also understand why someone would say that he's better than Luka. you know? So the talks with Giannis and who he is as a player kind of has gotten worse over the years. And I don't understand how it's gotten worse when he's gotten better as a player ever since 2021, ever since he won the ring. I remember people were already calling Giannis a top 2 power forward in the league. Ever. They were ready to give Giannis top 2 power forward in NBA history. Now, they crap on him a lot more than they did before then, and he's gotten better. I don't get that. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. And then when we get to Luka Doncic, Luka's probably I guess you can say, odd man out of the two here, because Luka had a bad year last year. I'm not going to lie. Luka had a bad year, man. I'm not going to lie. But, man, what he's been doing overseas, boy, what Luka's been doing overseas, with Luka, oh, my goodness, Luka's getting in shape, bro. Man, I think Luka, you're going to see a lot of effort from him on both sides, bro. I'm not going to lie, bro. Luka's about to be on a crazy tear. I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of what we've seen from Luka on his last year in Dallas. Well, the year before when he went to the finals. We're going to be seeing that Luka a lot. We're going to be seeing that version of Luka a lot. And, Raheem, listen, facts. Luka in a bad year, in a down year, bro, he's still a top 10 player, bro. He still played at that standard. He still played on that level, fam. That's a Luka bad year. That's a Luka down year. That's an out of shape Luka, fam. That's a Luka battling injuries and he out of shape. This man was still playing at a top 10 level. You feel me? So I really believe we're going to see more of that 20, what was that, 23 or 24? 24, I believe it was 24. We're going to be seeing that 24 Luka, that 23, 24 Luka, man. And, man, I'm not going to lie, we're going to really have some conversation about him being the best in the league. I'm serious, because when we look at Luka's offense, and listen, I'm not going to lie, I don't know who needs to hear this, but Luka's a better scorer than Jokic. Out of these three players, Giannis, Jokic, and Luka's the best scorer out of all of them, without a doubt. He actually is a 3-level threat. He's actually a guy that's scoring on all 3 levels, and teams are like, no, we got to key in on this. We got to make sure this man don't pull. With 1,000%. Far more than Jokic. And that helps. And people don't, this is what gets me mad with people. They don't understand how crucial that is for your team, right? When your best player, when defending teams can just be like, let me get back here, man. Let me shoot that 3. Let me get back here. Let me get back here, bro. Let me not off a screen blitz you. Let's not send a double early, because we can survive without it. Right? When teams can play like that, it makes it harder for your offense to get going. When you have a guy like a Luka, even Curry, and this is why it creates so many mismatches on the Warriors, when you have guys like that demands that attention as soon as they get at that 3-point line, it opens so many things up. And that's why a lot of times when the Nuggets face the Timberwolves, and even Giannis, when he faces other teams, the offense gets stagnant at times. The offense gets stagnant at times mainly because it's hard. It's just harder to run an offense like that. Now, when you got a guy who can really stretch the defense out like that, man, that opens up so many things for your team. Giannis and Jokic are still great, so they're still able to make things work. But having a guy like Luka, man, oh my goodness, it opens up the floor. And Luka, I'm not gonna lie, I think Luka's a better passer than Jokic too. I'm not gonna hold you, bro. I think Luka's just a better offensive player than Jokic in my mind. In my mind, because when you have a guard, when you have a guard that can make the passes this man be doing, bro. This man is getting doubled and triple teamed, dribbling through traffic. And he just, I love that backhand stuff he be doing, bro. He's just knowing where the defense is going to be as soon as he's getting to his spots and as soon as he's getting to his move, he knows exactly how the defense is going to react. Bro, that's special, bro. And this man be throwing a whole – this man was seeing the floor, and he's just zooming that thing all across half court to the corner, bro. I'm just like, dang, bro. I'm not going to lie. Luka's passing is exceptional. Jokic passing is exceptional as well. But if we're going to be honest, like when it comes to who we think is better between Jokic and Luka, it's really just offense on who we think is a better offensive player. Because defense, they're both not great defensively, right? So to me, I think it's far more valuable having a guard that can stretch the defense out like that. And the amount of passes that he can make off of, pick and roll situations, even in the post, he's a great post player, solid mid-range shooter, great three-point shooter, finishes very well, able to bully ball his way. Similar to Jokic, when it comes to some defenders, he's just able to bully them